Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Buckets. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. This is hot takes, but real quick, I just must apologize if you hear some classic rock, like 80s rock music in the background. That's my dad. He is a soon to be 52-year-old white guy. That's what they do, so sorry. But this is hot takes. Let's get into it. I don't even need my phone. I know I'm holding it here like I do with some of the videos. Bulls will be 8th seed at best. You will be a disappointment to your parents at best. The Hawks are the 1st seed in the East this season. I don't know that that's entirely out of the realm of possibility, though I would definitely bet against it. I think I actually have them as my pick for the 3rd seed in the conference just because of how good they were with their new head coach. But in general, I would definitely say the Bucks have a better regular season record. I won't definitely say the Nets just because injury and then some certain players potentially choosing not to play half of the season because they're jackasses. Comment's going to suck for that, but I don't care. It's true. But I do think the Hawks have a chance at that. I just wouldn't bet on it. Steph Curry is easily the best player in the league. Now, I obviously don't agree with the easily part of this take. However, I do agree that he's easily the best offensive player in the league. I don't even think that's really a conversation. I mean, people who don't understand the nuances of his gravity and the playmaking that he brings to the table might not understand that. But someone who is as good of a playmaker as he is while also being a 32 point on 67% true shooting percentage score, that's just the best offensive player in the league. Overall, I don't know, but there are days where it's definitely hard to say it's not him. But at the same time, there are multiple players in the league where there are days where it's hard to say it's not him. So I wouldn't give Steph that credit immediately, but offensively for sure. I don't actually know who I think the best player in the NBA is because I go back and forth constantly. But I'll say Steph is in my top 3 picks for that spot. That's for sure. The Jazz have the best bench / underrated offseason. Eric Pascal, Rudy Gay, both 6th Man of the Year caliber additions, plus a backup to Rudy Gobert and Hassan Whiteside. I don't know why this take got so many likes because it's not good. If you want to say the Jazz have a good bench unit, I agree with that because, I mean, they already did with Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles. But Eric Pascal's not a good NBA player. He's what I've described as a fake good player where he, can put up some decent scoring numbers on, and be relatively interesting to watch, and that he has a good mid-range game and all that, but he's not actually like good. He's not a floor spacer, not a defensive player, and at the forward spot you'd want him to be one or the other, and he's really neither of them. Rudy Gay is cool. He's a good player, but 6th Man of the Year caliber? I don't know about that. Eric Pascal's definitely not 6th Man of the Year caliber. The Warriors wouldn't have traded him for a 2nd round pick if he was truly that good. I think that was an undersell on his value, but it wouldn't have been a 2nd round pick. So no, I disagree with this take pretty much entirely. I agree they have a good bench unit. They have one of the best bench units in the league, but underrated offseason, absolutely not. They did very little. Also, Hassan Whiteside sucks. Like a lot. So that's... no, that's not a good take. With a returning Jamal Murray and the addition of Jeff Green, the Nuggets will win the West. Now, as good as I believe Jeff Green is, I do think the take that they will win the West because of his addition as a big factor, I think is a little ludicrous. I think he's good, but I don't know that he's, miles better than players they already had. Definitely an upgrade, but not anything crazy. Like, he's not miles better than Paul Millsap. But I do agree with the sentiment that a returning Jamal Murray on top of what the Nuggets roster is when healthy is a very good team. I would pick the Lakers to beat them, but I've already said, I don't know if this is in a hot takes video. I said at some point, no, this is in my my fucking, what's the video called? Bold predictions for the 2021 season. It was in that video where I said, I think the Nuggets are the 2nd best team in the Western Conference when completely healthy. So I do agree that they're very good at the very least. Darius Garland is going to be a superstar. Now, as much as I like Darius Garland, and I've expressed that a couple of times now and made a point to emphasize that I think he's underrated at this point, no, he's not going to be a superstar. I think superstar is a term that's way, way overused and way overthrown around, but definitely not, at least by my definition of what a superstar is. There's not a chance in hell Darius Garland is going to be a superstar. I mean, if you're one of those people who was labeling Kemba Walker a superstar when he was in Charlotte, then I guess I think you could get on that tier, but those people were stupid, so yeah. Donovan Mitchell is the best shooting guard in the league if you count Harden as a point guard, of course. No, because if you're counting Harden as a point guard, which you should, you're then counting Kyrie Irving as a shooting guard, which you should, and Kyrie Irving is better than Donovan Mitchell. Sorry. The Rockets make the play-in tournament. The Rockets make the play-in tournament. I have seen some people make takes like this. I do believe the Rockets next year have the potential to be good because they're definitely not a team that is lacking in talent. I think Jalen Green is going to be really good. I think Kevin Porter is already really good and really going to break out next year with a full season of just unleashed opportunity. Christian Wood, if you've been around for a while, you know Christian Wood has been like my guy for a long time. As well as Jeremy Grant, pretty much in a similar camp. So I definitely think the Rockets have talent. Daniel Tice is a fine addition, especially if you're trying to win now. That said, I don't know that there is enough here to say confidently that they are the 10th seed at minimum in the Western Conference, because the West is just really good. Like, I think there are 10 teams that are better than the Rockets. That said, I'm not like, oh yeah, there's definitely 10 teams better than the Rockets. Like, I would not be surprised if the Rockets were like a 10th seed in the West, but I wouldn't bet on it. Giannis is going to be top 5 all-time at worst when he retires. I don't think you guys are properly appreciating how much goes into being a top 5 player of all time for you to say that. Now, is he on a pace and a trajectory to get in that conversation, being what he has accomplished at the age that he is at? Sure, I'll give you that. But like, to suggest that just because someone's on pace for something means they're definitely going to get it, and at worst, like top 5 at worst, that means more than likely you think he's going to be a top 3 player of all time. Like, do you think he's going to potentially be in a conversation for GOAT? Because I'm a big Giannis guy. Don't know about that one. So yeah, I'm not going to go that far for sure, but I do think he can crack into the top 10. In fact, I would probably guess that he's at the very least in the conversation for 10, because even then, there's like, the thing is, anytime you make a top 10 list, there's like probably 12 or 13 players that have a place in that conversation, really. So you'll always get like 1 or 2 players that people will be pissed off if you leave them outside of your top 10. So yeah, I think you can get in that conversation there, but top 5 at worst, that's a pretty bold fucking take, and I'm not going that far right now for sure, as a big Giannis guy. AD is the worst superstar floor raiser in the league. Yeah, there's just something about Anthony Davis. I can't even really put my finger on it. There's just something about Anthony Davis that makes me think he's the worst superstar, or at least, you know, like, because bear in mind, to me, a superstar means you can be the best player on a championship team. I think AD can be the best player on a championship team, but I just, of the players that I would put into that caliber, he is towards the bottom in terms of like how I would view them. I don't know how to describe this. Just like, I feel like if I'm building a team around a superstar, he's at the bottom of players I would put in that category that I'm choosing. Part of that is because there's something about him that always throws me off, but also it's just simply the fact that he is a center. And other than, he plays power forward, but he's a center. Other than Jokic, like, Jokic is like a total outlier. I just think inherently building around a center has a lot of flaws, and it's a difficult thing to do. So for that reason, I guess Giannis would be an outlier too, because I consider him basically a center too, but he's obviously very not center-like, and that's part of the reason why he's so good at center. I don't know if that makes sense either. I don't know. None of these are well-constructed points. But the building around a big man is not easy in today's league, especially. So just by the virtue of the fact that he is a big man, I think reduces the value that he brings to the table. And that's not really his fault. That's just kind of the nature of the game, where wings and guards kind of are the most important things to have. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Anthony. I mean, floor raiser, sure. I mean, I guess if you look to the past of the Pelicans, he didn't get them very far or into the playoffs very often. But at the same time, you can't really knock him too much for that, because A, is the teammates were not that good, and then B, the ones that were actually good were constantly injured. So I can't I can't knock him for those, really. But I will say, of the guys that I would think of as superstars, I would say AD is probably, if not the worst, close to it in terms of just raising the floor of a team. But I also don't think that's the end-all be-all of how good a player is, like so many people do. Like, if you can't carry a team, you're not actually that good. Fuck that noise. Sometimes if you have a team built around you properly, you can take that team further than someone who's capable of carrying a team. It's just some players have different strengths in different environments. I don't know, player comparison is kind of dumb for that reason, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyways, that last one was a fucking weird ramble, but that was my reaction to your hot takes. If you want to submit your own hot takes, go follow me on Twitter. That's where I asked for them. First time I've ever done that promo, but yeah, that is it. Goodbye.